Oh, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, and people from Asia, today the League of Ordinary Gentlemen proudly bring to you the Fantasy Football 5. Introducing Boss of the Wall, Bryan Roberts. Not pictured in today's episode. Quick wit, slow feet, Ryan Robertson. Coach Jake Ruth. And JT the Commish.
I just want to let it rain down on you for a minute.
Oh, it's because you play me this week and I'm the person you want to lose to the least?
Yeah. You really loved that, didn't you?
Oh, dude, I love being the villain, dude. Oh, my gosh. That's like being the Joker. Yeah.
It's
exactly
the
like being the
It's
Joker.
the arrogance you have about it.
Oh, I love it, dude. Oh,
if you were like that in other aspects of your life, we couldn't be friends.
I got to start doing that.
That was
Man, that's
messed up.
Boo me. Boo me.
No,
Boo this man.
I thought you said boob me. Like, what?
Boo me?
Play
Play it.
I deserve that.
I've got an hour and 10 minutes to roll right
Dude, we
through.
do need a soundboard for sure.
Oh,
I tried to do it that one time and he got mad.
I don't think I got mad.
Yeah, because I kept playing the Russian national anthem.
Oh, well, yeah, let's take that one off.
What's wrong with them?
Brian, do we have to go through the
How
whole
much time
Cold
You
Oh,
War?
treat them like they're Germany.
Who does? Me?
Yeah.
We're allies with Germany. Kind of.
No, we own Germany. They don't have a choice. It's like Japan.
Chappelle.
It's not going to be one of those, is it?
We
Well,
don't
see,
have-
I was trying to figure that out because last weekend we were trying to figure out what
What I was going to do?
was it you? Yes, it was.
Yeah, what I was
Because of
going to
being
do.
right. Yeah. Now my guy's gone.
So,
What am I going to do?
I don't know.
He's gonna have
actually gonna-
conversations with himself.
I'm actually going to have to talk about fantasy football and give meaningful advice? I don't know.
I hope not.
Well, it remains to be seen.
All right. Well, we had a very eventful week 12. A lot of big injuries to talk about, a lot of big playoff implications to talk about, a lot of teams that have officially played their way out of the NFL playoffs. One of those teams being
Carolina Panthers.
Carolina Panthers.
Carolina
So
Panthers.
I do have a good question to kind of ask here. So
Okay.
this point of the year always becomes where I think it impacts fantasy players' value on your team. So do you like having a person who's in first place in their division? It looks like they're a playoff-bound team, but you get a little worried about, like, are they going to start resting them? That's what, one of the reasons why everybody moves their playoffs up 1 week so they don't
True.
have to worry about that final week of sitting. Or do you get worried about having a person that's on a team that has no implications for next year? They start doing different stuff to just basically see what they have with other talent, and they basically try to play for a higher draft pick. So, I don't know, Carolina might suck. So, maybe it is going to be a lot more Hubbard that comes out. Or
Let's go
is it
after
going
it
to
now.
well, I like Amir Abdullah. I think he fit
Yeah,
more with
Abdullah.
the McCaffrey role than that. I guess that's what – would you rather have someone on your fantasy team that you feel like value-wise on a team that isn't playing in playoff implications, like their season's already over now? Do you think that could impact scores moving forward? Or, even them technically resting players, like, if the New York Giants are officially eliminated and they don't want to take a chance with Saquon getting re-injured, you get fearful over someone like that getting sick, where if he's in a playoff hunt, he's playing and getting workload.
I would rather have the guy that might end up getting rested because their team's doing so well than the guy that's on a terrible team that has no shot, because they might just be inactive. They might get rested, and they might completely change their game plan. I don't know. I'd rather have the former, but I don't really think there's a team that's like completely locked up anything like, number one seed. Obviously not now, but I don't think there's any team like running away with it either. So
Detroit still has a path to the playoffs.
But see, there's a good point. So you have a very important player from Detroit. Most fantasy relevant guy is DeAndre Swift. Do you get nervous with his shoulder injury of him not having as much value moving to playoff time?
Mm.
You think they'll bring him back, a young guy that they know is going to be a big part of the future, and I don't want to say risk an injury, but they don't want anything worse to happen to him?
I really think because I got Williams, I hang.
Oh no, yeah. So that's that.
I mean, I'd much rather have Swift in the lineup, but
well, I told JT before you got here.
I think Detroit is so focused on trying to win.
They
Detroit's a
have to.
whole
Well,
different
they have-
animal.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they're just trying to win.
Yeah.
They don't care about the playoffs. They want just a 1 week win. So they'll take DeAndre Swift back. If Derrick Henry wants to quit, they'll sign him.
Yeah, see
Give
that.
him one play.
That's
Anything that'll
something
help.
I thought about with Derrick Henry is like everyone, is talking about they ain't gonna rush him back. I said, well, they're a team right now looking like they're going to playoffs and it looks like they're probably gonna have home field. I mean, they have been one of the more consistent teams in the NFL this year, which is crazy to say, especially after Derrick Henry's injury.
So a week ago or 2 weeks ago, they had 27 injuries.
Yeah, but they gotta get somewhat of a rhythm back with the starting group.
They need some guys to come back.
They're 8-4, and that's tied for the lead in the AFC. 8-3 of the Ravens, but they're going to go on bye. So I mean, again, to get that number 1, number 2 spot, that's big, man.
So as soon as he's healthy, they plug him back in.
I think so. Because that dude, I mean, a week to an extra week, like an extra bye week this late in the season, going to the playoffs, teams need that.
And you got to get him back into a game shape. The only way you get game shape is playing in games. Like even practicing doesn't duplicate what exactly it is to be in the game. I was thinking about that the other day. I like the guy what JT said on the team that might rest them because they're winning so much because they're bound and determined to keep the rhythm of the team. Yeah, like you got to keep that going.
But a guy like Henry, he comes back whenever. Like he's not going to practice the rest of the season. He's just not. He'll go out there and do some drills or whatever, fine. But I mean, he just comes in when he's ready.
That's crazy to me is I read all these things like A.J. Brown that I have on my team. I'm just going to use him because I have him on my team. But it's he never practices until maybe a Thursday or Friday walkthrough. Like they purposely are he gets rest.
Julio didn't do that in Atlanta.
Julio hadn't practiced in 5 years.
And Allen Iverson never practiced.
Practice.
We can't talk about it.
I mean, and they're studs. Then they can go out there on Sunday and run the routes they run and have rhythm. To me, that's just insane.
They're different animals. In the NFC, you do have. I mean, it's still you got the Cardinals at 9-2.
Best team in the NFL, right?
Yeah, best team in the NFL,
and we beat the dog crap out of them.
That is true.
And then we lost the last 2 weeks.
But they got to get Kyler going.
We got the dog crap.
They got to get Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins going. Yeah. So they're going to be playing, I would imagine, unless they have a setback that they rest them. Cowboys are 8-4, and then Bucks are 8-3.
Are the Cowboys going to cowboy again this year?
I don't think so. They got a 3-game lead.
Washington.
I think they'll make the playoffs.
Washington's one of the hotter teams in the NFL right now. Heineke's
so hot
playing pretty
right
well. And the defense finally doesn't.
We shouldn't be saying that though.
So hot.
We should not. I mean, there's no team. I can't single out one team that I would put money down on to win it right now.
No,
I've never seen it. Nobody wants it.
I'm really trying to think.
Who was y'all Super Bowl picks?
Tennessee, so we both picked.
And the Rams, who keep making all these signings, but Stafford kind of has been.
Yeah.
I think a healthy Tennessee probably will be running the gauntlet on everybody, but
maybe. I had
the way the defense is playing.
Buffalo should be. They're not.
I can't establish a running game.
I can't establish anything. No. Josh Allen doesn't want anybody to know he's good anymore. It's like he gets nervous.
Bastard.
We need more Jake Delones in this world, man. Risk takers.
Do you hear how much fantasy football this guy was talking?
I need a round back.
All right, let's jump into our Week 12 matchup review. Jake, what we got?
First up, Scorp, Mikkel.
So we had in first place the Scorpion King versus I'm immunized Michael Smith in sixth place, currently at least. The original projection was 140-107. Both teams underperformed, with Scorp coming out on top 114-88. Scorp did have a big injury with Dalvin Cook,
which makes that trade with you all that more important.
Collusion.
It's not. How's that collusion?
Colluding together.
A trade is collusion?
He's going to give him $100 guaranteed.
It's not true.
There it goes.
Well, let's now talk about that trade. Who would you rather have the stretch of the season, Madison or Williams?
Melvin Gordon's doubtful this week, so Williams going to get a crack at it. If he takes it, then
he just can't find the freaking ends. I think he got his first rushing touchdown of the season or something like
that. Yeah, he had a touchdown.
Because he had a receiving touchdown before that. But yeah, Javonte, I think in many ways, if you go look at yards per attempt, the style of running, he's been better than Melvin Gordon, but they get in the red zone and it's like straight.
Melvin Gordon's still been like
he's
solid.
been good,
He's
yes.
been solid.
And I don't want to make it sound like he's washed up, but he's the veteran trusted back in the red zone where they're not like rookie might put it on the ground.
Yeah.
But like you said this week.
Yeah, I'm excited about Javonte. He's got Madison to back up Cook, so he should be fine there because Madison's been solid. The other parts of that trade were Miles Sanders, who
sucks. I take Boston Scott over him. You're gosh darn right.
I've been saying it.
Philadelphia don't want to listen to you.
They don't.
I don't know why. He's outproduced every time. Miles Sanders. He's had 3 better weeks than Miles Sanders has like the whole season put together.
And they drafted Kenneth Gainwell, and that was supposed to be
Ryan, calm down wherever you are right now.
Kenneth
Gainwell. Tell him, Baylor.
Is that you, dinosaur in a Santa suit?
Najee also had his worst game of the season as well, 5.2, which from Najee is in week 1 he had 5.4, but since then, dude, he's been a consistent like 14 to really about 20 every single week.
Yeah.
And so 5.2 from Najee. I don't really know what to expect from the Steelers going forward. I know that
talk about a team that's going the opposite direction of which way you want to go at this point.
Which everybody knew that was going to end up happening
Big
at some point. Big boy, he's
big boy.
He is a big boy.
He is a big boy.
And he's had a great career.
Yeah.
It's just father time
catches up. And the biggest thing
he's
is
been in a car wreck about
I mean, he's had some big he's taken a lot of hits.
And he's never really set out after any other quarterback would have set out.
I mean, he's been a very good quarterback. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah. It's the biggest thing between him and other guys is the lack of power on passes.
Yeah, I mean,
that's when you know it's kind of, and even Cam, if you watch him, which I mean, I don't think they're comparable, but Cam underthrows a lot. I mean, but
had excitement to come.
You know, guys like that have been known to take beatings like that. You can just start seeing the arm strength, missing deep balls by 2 or 3 steps, or then trying to overthrow it and missing guys by several steps. Like that's something else I've noticed is like Claypool could be 2 or 3 steps past somebody, and Ben just trying to make sure he gets it there, overthrows it really bad.
Yeah, he just doesn't have it quite what he used to have anymore. Scorp was led by Dak Prescott from that Thursday Thanksgiving game against Vegas. He and Schultz put up 29 and 14. That was a good duo or combo for Scorp. The New England's defense with 19. That essentially carried him. Mike Evans had a pretty poor game in a game in which they scored 38 points. He only puts up 3.1.
Yeah.
And then Miles Sanders, 64 rushing yards, doesn't find the end zone. Boston Scott does. That's the difference.
That's the difference. It's a big difference.
Looking at Michael's squad, he really needed Lamar Jackson to have a good game. Lamar Jackson had maybe his worst game as a professional, I would imagine. I mean, he still had 68 rushing yards, but he had 4 picks.
What a boring game that was. It was awful.
Dude.
It's a snooze fest.
You talk about boring game. That was it. That was a Sunday night game, too.
Which I thought after what had happened last year, that's where he had to go poop and came back, right? He had to go poop. Wasn't that a Sunday or Monday night football
game? It was one of those. It's a primetime game. I remember that.
And he went off. He had like 40 fantasy points in that game. So I guess a lot of people were kind of hoping for a better performance from him.
Did Jalen Hurts have a better game? I don't think so. No, Jalen Hurts played very poorly. 6.8. 3 interceptions. So from his no touchdowns. So from his quarterbacks as a team, they had a combined 0 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
It's pretty solid.
They also had 160 some rushing yards combined. But I guess that's kind of what keeps Lamar afloat a little bit. Devontae Adams, 14. Jacoby Myers, 12. But Michael was led by Denver's defense, who looked really good against the Chargers. Chargers could not get anything going in that game. They had a couple spurts, but 28-13 Denver win, and Denver comes away with a touchdown, which is huge in the whole fantasy football game.
It still didn't start the better defense.
I know, because Miami absolutely demolished Carolina. Dude, they look like a playoff team against Miami? Carolina. Oh, yeah.
They look like a playoff team the past couple of weeks.
They have, man. They gotten hot since their defense started getting on track, since Tua came back. I mean, they look good. That was my dark horse to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to, but, I mean, they are looking good.
Yeah.
They look like a solid team. They just need a couple pieces. Offensive line, a little bit of help there, and then they need to figure out something running back because Miles Gadsden's just too inconsistent.
Yes.
Mike just needs to get healthy, man.
Yeah, because AB's suspended now. You see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
3 games. And, he hadn't played since, week 3?
I'm not feeling good about his
week 6.
value moving forward.
Yeah.
I
Can
actually
you
tried
expect
trading
Calvin to come back any point this season?
Calvin Ridley, I don't think.
I don't think he can.
Again, talking about a team moving in that
Opposite
bad direction, and
I think
draft pick.
you might start hearing some rumors about them trying to move on from him after this year.
Yeah.
Find somebody take him.
Nobody really knows what's going on, man. That's a tough situation. Scorp had 15 on the bench from Darrell Henderson Jr. He was he's questionable now. He started Miles over Henderson. Henderson ended up being the better play. But it's all in vain because Scorp remains victorious, 114-88. And that takes Scorp to 10-2 with a 9-game win streak, I believe.
Sounds about right.
Continues to be in first place. Drops Michael to 6-6 in 6th place. All right, Jake, next matchup.
Next matchup is Broach Andrew.
The Battle of
December 9th.
Battle of December 9th. Good. Y'all been paying attention. Y'all been listening.
Trying to.
Y'all been listening.
Yes.
Indeed. All right. So, learning to walk again. Andrew Ransdale, Baba Booey. He is original projection.
Get that dinosaur in that sand suit. You got to.
Come here.
Get the dinosaur in the sand suit.
Come here. Give it to him. All right. The original projection was 121-116 in favor of Magic Mike, Josh Broach,
Man.
and the final 79-114 in favor of Broach. I really needed Andrew to lose, and he did that. He was led by Rodgers with 30, and then OBJ had his best game as a Los Angeles Ram and his best game of the season.
Yeah, had a real big touchdown.
Outside of that, dude, everybody else for Rand City scored in single digits. Again, because of Leonard Fournette. I guess I didn't mention that with Mike Evans, but because of Leonard Fournette, Chris Godwin also just 2.7 in a game they put up 38 points. Give me the nice. George Kittle 1.8, Kareem Hunt 2, Darren Waller 4.3. That was the other big injury.
Yeah, Darren Waller.
Marquise Brown 9.1. Dallas defense 8. Just not a good week for Rams Diddy.
What's he doing? Is he taking the dinosaur away?
I think he is. Ben's gonna be mad.
He's good on your shoulder like that. I get it. I'm the bad guy.
Oh, yeah. Dry ass bone over there.
Then the other side of the ball, you had Russell Wilson put up 23 in a loss to Washington. Again, did not look very good, but fantasy-wise, ends up getting right at his projection. But Broach with 20 from Antonio Gibson, 15 from Gronk. Gronk had the best receiving game out of all the weapons.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
he's been pretty touchdown dependent most of the year, and then what do you have? 7 out of 10, 123.
You're getting close to playoff time. So Brady Gronk connection.
You don't need Gronk during the middle of the season. You really don't.
You don't care to have him.
You really don't need him to the beginning of the season. You need him for the last couple weeks of the regular season and then playoffs.
Yep.
His stat line over the course of the season, he exited in week 3 temporarily, then came back, was kind of on and off the field, and that was when he got injured. He's he did have a week in which he got 1 target against New Orleans. He still wasn't healthy, but for the most part, Gronk's been pretty good at tight end this year.
Good Gronk.
Good Gronk. Which, I guess another, a whole off season and, whole season last year coming off of that 1-year retirement.
All because of bad cell phone connection.
Yeah, that was the problem. That was the problem.
I do want to jump back over to Andrew's team and ask him something real quick. What do you think about all the dads who are calling out Cleveland? So Odell his father got on Twitter and started bashing the
Oh, no.
Browns organization and Baker Mayfield. And this past week, in his return, Hunt's dad was very vocal about how bad.
LeVar Ball's going to get in on this.
Well, maybe.
He
I
ain't
mean,
even
like,
got a son on there.
I guess, but like, first off, talk about division within a team that like I thought had a really good chance of making playoffs a couple weeks ago. They were pretty dynamic offensively, especially when Odell was out. They were putting up 40-some points in some games.
Yeah.
And now it feels like everyone's turned on Baker. I don't know if he's lost the locker room or what exactly is happening there, but clearly these parents are having information passed to them by their children.
It is like high school,
It literally is. And what just dumbfounds me is, could you imagine your parents using Twitter to attack other players or coaches or something
We
like
paid for that banner that you hang
that?
up.
I mean,
that is silly.
My
man.
construction
It
company donated 30,000 seats.
is he trying to get out of Cleveland? I mean, he's a free agent at the end of the year, right?
I mean, there's no way he goes back, right?
Yeah, no.
Who?
Baker.
To Cleveland?
I don't think it's Baker moving on. I think it's Hunt moving
Oh, or Hunt. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. What do you think happens with Baker?
You
I mean,
stick with him.
I think you do.
You have to stick with him. You can't fold to that. Right or wrong, at this
Didn't they
point,
just
you have
pay
to
him?
pick your side.
I think they did.
So I think we talked about it 2 or 3 weeks ago. Maybe the last time I was on the pod, we talked about where could Hunt go and fit in. I tell you what, after watching what Miami did to the Panthers,
That's what I said.
that could be. They ever get any draft an offensive lineman,
Draft
Tua
offensive lineman and
Waddle?
get a free agent running back, dude, because you don't need to spend huge
No.
draft capital.
I tell you this, I don't know if you ever want to really pay a running back again after the issues we've had with McCaffrey.
And then you got Dalvin,
Yeah,
who got paid.
You pay him, and then they miss.
McCaffrey's issues are more the organization trying to protect the health of him than it is. If we were in playoff contention right now,
But
he would be playing. They've given up on the season.
how many times do we see running backs who emerge that basically are like late round steals? Like even Elijah Mitchell, right? Like, I mean, he's had a good year, right?
Had 25 last week on the bench.
I don't know. Is it something where it's more about building, like paying a running back, or do you just always pay offensive linemen and say if it's good enough up there, anyone can be pretty successful behind it?
Dude. I think if you got a good O-line, then you got a pretty good shot.
I think Zeke's lost a step or two compared to what it was, but one of the reasons why he ran wild early in his career because he probably had the best offensive line to run behind. Like
he did have the best.
you got great offensive line. You're gonna have running backs that put up huge amount of production. Now some of them are more talented than others, especially at catching the ball and doing things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're asking me, like moving forward, what would I rather see my team spend money on?
What would you rather see your team spend money on?
Offensive line. Offensive.
There you go.
Offensive, decent defensive lineman. Like I think that's
decent lineman.
Yeah.
Offensive and decent lineman.
They are combined.
You want good offensive linemen. That'd be great. Decent.
Speaking of Myles Gaskin, though, I mean, he had 18 from a fantasy perspective. Had 2 touchdowns.
He looked good, but he's so inconsistent you can't play him.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't. His biggest rushing output of the year is 89 yards. And then he's had games with 3 yards, 9 yards, 25, 34, 31, 36. I mean, yeah, you just have no clue of what to do with Gaskin, and which is why he was on Ramsey's bench.
Yeah. And like Kittle's had 2 or 3 pretty strong outings, and it's hard to take a guy that you draft that high and it's finally started to look good again and put him on the bench. Like Andrew, he had an opportunity with some better starts.
Oh, if he would have started Mitchell, Gaskin, and Breida over, obviously he wouldn't have started him over Chubb, but if he would have Chubb, Hunt and Kittle, then he would have won.
Yep.
He needs to sit Chubb and Hunt.
It's so hard to sit Chubb because, like, I
agree with desperate measures, fellas.
He is a talented.
You got to do it.
Well, we'll look and see what he's got on the
So you don't think Cleveland will respond this week?
No. Is it locker room cancer? Not that I can't do that speech again. Let's move forward.
Next matchup.
Well, hold on.
Oh, okay.
So that takes learning to walk again.
You're pretty good with that.
To 4-8, remains in 8th. Takes Magic Mike to 7-5 and in 4th. All right, next matchup.
Oh. JT Rightmyer.
All right, so we have the cult of personality versus not last.
Why did he change his team name?
Because he's not last anymore. The original projection was 126 to 122. Both teams underperformed, but in the final, Rightmyer 119 to 111 is victorious.
Cam got you.
The Panthers got me.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
The Panthers and DK got me.
Yeah, you had 3 duds, and everything else on your team performed very well.
Yeah.
Like even your you had a very good week, except for those 3 guys.
My number 1 running back, my number 1 receiver, my quarterback. You know, kind of those positions you need to do well.
So the McCaffrey injury, like they talked about him on the sideline. I saw him like rolling his ankle, like it looked like he was just trying to work some.
Went in for 1 play in the second half, and then came right back out, and that was it. Then the game got way out of hand.
Nobody. Very
quick.
And why did it get so out of hand? Because of the quarterback you started.
Yeah.
He kept throwing interceptions.
Bad.
Was Tua not available? Because I thought you liked Tua.
I do like Tua. Tua's on Broach's team.
Oh.
I mean, Cam let me at least try to back this up a little bit. Cam last week against Washington, the game we went to, had 30 fantasy points.
Well, yeah, you can't. It's hard to sit him because of the run value.
All right, so I said, all right, I'm gonna double down on the Panthers, and we'll double down on that Russian attack, and it bit me. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to combine under 10 points from those 2.
If you add in DK, then you
just barely over 10.
Like 11 points from your 3 most valuable positions.
Which, by the way, the only person that would have been under that on your team was Hawkinson with 11. Mm-hmm. So basically, every individual player outscored those 3 combined.
That's such a big middle finger of a team name for him. He's got the little smiley face celebrating.
I don't like it.
Right.
Oh, Rightmyer, I love you.
I don't like it.
Let's talk about Rightmyer's team for a minute. Again, he's really riding the Chargers bandwagon pretty hard. Having Eckler, Herbert, and Allen all with good weeks. None of them with outstanding. Right at their projections on each of them. Herbert under, Allen slightly under, and then Eckler a point above. He did have 2 injuries. Is James Robinson going to play this week?
James Robertson, I don't think he is.
You don't know that. You don't. I'm about to say. Don't you ever underestimate him?
Says got in a couple limited sessions.
And then you've already said Melvin Gordon's out. He did get injured during that game.
Right now they got him listed as doubtful, but
he'll probably be throwing A.J. Dillon. He had some big guys on his bench that he didn't play. A.J. Dillon, 17.5. T. Higgins, 20.4. Van Jefferson Jr. So, yeah, I mean,
Junior.
I feel like Rightmyer all year when we go over his matchups, his bench almost outperforms his starters. And, like, he switches it the next week, and then the other guy goes off.
Rightmyer's starting lineup beat me. Rightmyer's bench beat me. Rightmyer just beat me, man.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yes.
He's got a little hat, too.
That's why he's hat.
I did see that.
That's why he's not a
party hat. He had a solid week. I mean, he's right under his projection. He had a solid week pretty much all the way across the board.
How pissed off are you? Because I think it was 8 weeks ago we had this conversation about having one guy left on a primetime matchup. Would you rather be ahead or would you rather be – do you remember doing this scenario?
Yes, I remember.
And you were one who said –
I'd rather have my guy going and be damned.
And I said –
you'd take that 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
The only reason you wouldn't take it 10 times out of 10 is because you remember what it felt like.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad feeling. And I knew after that after about halfway through that first quarter, I said, man, I got a bad feeling.
It was like, it was a couple weeks ago where, was it you were in the lead?
Yeah.
No, you were behind. And had a big catch or a big run. I can't remember who it was. Me and Scorp playing Call of Duty.
I was ahead.
Is that what it was?
I was ahead.
And then Scorp said, oh, no. Or something.
And I can't remember who it was.
You said he's not going to do something for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, that was 2 months ago.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. So he ain't going to do nothing else, and he didn't.
He was having a bad night. I was really wanting him to win.
You know,
they said, that's it. He's not going to do anything else. And I'll be damned. He didn't do a single thing. He didn't even get half a point.
And then the other week when I played around, I said, all right, Debo just can't just go off in this last part. And then they throw it on 4th and 5 up 20. He catches a touchdown.
I also blame Bryan's player on Debo's success a lot this year. Patterson. Making him a running back receiver. I think San Francisco loved the idea and put him in the backfield. He's almost been more valuable as a running back the last couple of weeks than he has as a receiver.
He's been good, but he's out this week.
Yes.
Rightmyer, congratulations.
He's excited.
Thanks, Jake.
Congratulations.
He is excited about it.
All right, that takes total personality to 2-10 and in last. And it takes
not last.
to 2-10 and in 9th. Next matchup.
Maybe you got to give him the next
What is
matchup.
it? What are
Ryan Jordan.
I don't know what y'all laughing at.
Ryan Jordan.
I'm glad y'all having a good time. All right, so you got the fantasy phenoms. Dude, tell me when you see this GIF, because now I just got to show it to you.
We'll do it on there so they can see it.
Can I find it?
You want to be careful.
Thumbs up.
Kids GIF.
Whoa. This one. Every time I see this one, I think of Bryan. Because look, he says. He did that to me like 4 times last night.
Bryan in kindergarten.
Nah, that kid's too skinny.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Big old boy.
Always reminds me. All right, so you got the fantasy phenoms versus WFT No. 2-1 football. Respect, red dot, yellow dot, feather flag. The original projection was 106 to 113. The final 126 to 91 in favor of the fantasy phenoms, who was led by Leonard Fournette with 4 touchdowns.
Had a big week.
What a rookie running back this guy is, huh? This Fournette guy coming out of nowhere.
Really hurt on the other side, Tom Brady's production.
It went all day. Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, literally, he took every touchdown in that game, I think. Brady didn't throw one, did he?
No, let's look. 1.
Yeah, he did.
Throw it, dude.
I don't know. Was it Bourne? No, that's New England.
It wasn't Goblin. It wasn't Evans. It wasn't. It was to Fournette.
Oh, of course.
Well, there you go.
That makes sense. Yeah, you got 40 from Fournette, which definitely is a game changer. Then you had 26 from Wentz, 20 from Debo. And then from there, you had a couple decent weeks from Lockett and Cedric Wilson from Dallas. The rest of Ryan's team looked bad. Dan Arnold didn't work out. Tim Patrick didn't work out. Carolina's defense
did not work out. Ryan's relationship with Carson Wentz reminds me of a dysfunctional high school relationship. He adds and drops him constantly.
It's true. He does.
Every week. And then he starts him. It's like, I'm done with you. I'm over you. I'm never going to play you again. And then, bam, he's back in his starting lineup.
It's very well done, Jay. No boos.
Yeah, I'm going to be quiet now.
We're real proud of you.
Yeah, I'm done for the day. Thanks, guys.
And then Jordan's team, he was led by Stephon Diggs, 16.9.
Yeah, he did not. Mark Andrews, 14.5 down there. He had a pretty good game. And then Tampa, even giving up 31 points, still had.
Yeah, look good from fantasy perspective because they got turnovers and sacks.
Yeah.
3 fumble recoveries. You got to be kidding me.
Not kidding.
Not.
2 picks, 5 turnovers, 3 sacks. Yeah, Brady didn't get anything going. Elijah Moore, who's been pretty hot, didn't get anything going. Kenny Galladay remains to be
fantasy valued.
Bad.
Yeah, he's
Devonta Freeman has broken only 1 more tackle than all of us sitting at this table this year.
Really?
He's broken 1 tackle.
Huh. And the guy all of us could have had on our teams, Noah Fant, who was offered in a multitude of trades, 2.7.
You want him?
No. And my tight end's not good either.
I didn't see that happening.
Yeah.
I thought they figured something out. But they did figure something out. And so the other teams, Calvin Ridley's not playing. Let's cover this.
Yeah. We'll get to that later.
I will say this about Jordan's team, though. He lost Henry. He's had every single running back from Tennessee over the past 4 weeks. And
didn't he splurge his load on the guy they cut?
Hey, easy.
Yeah, Peterson.
No, and now he's in Seattle, right?
Yeah, he is in Seattle. But he made the wrong start here. But Hilliard for Tennessee had 131 rushing yards and a touchdown.
He figured it out.
Listen.
Bless you.
Yeah, 17.8 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Dontrell. Don't even know the dude, really. Last week was the first time I ever heard his name. Deontay Foreman's who he started, which Deontay Foreman had 109 yards rushing. He just didn't find the end zone. I mean, honestly, he's kind of figured it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Figure what out?
Tennessee running back situation.
There you go.
Yeah. It wasn't Adrian Peterson. It wasn't Jeremy McNichols.
Who?
Jeremy McNichols.
Okay.
Okay.
I was thinking about the old country guy.
Joe
Nick. I thought it was Joe Nichols.
It is Joe Nichols.
So, I know some stuff.
Yeah, Ryan had a lot on.
Name a song.
Tequila makes my clothes fall off.
That's true. I know that.
Is that the only one you know?
That's
the
only one
you need to know.
But you said name one, and that's what I did. Brian
did.
Roberts. Ask me a college football question. See if I got you this week.
Nah, we did too much of that last week.
Yeah, and I did better than y'all thought.
You did. It was so weird.
In terms of like, where did a player go to school?
Okay.
I did pretty good.
James Conner.
We gave you this one.
Did you?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Ugh.
You want to play like we did? ACC school.
Okay.
Playing today.
I don't know
narrowed it
who's
down to two.
playing.
I know.
today.
Nah,
I could give him another guess, but
that narrows it down to two teams.
I don't know.
See, that's the thing. All you got to do is pay just a little bit of attention.
Oh, because they're in the ACC championship game.
Yep.
I'm a big, what's his name?
I don't know.
Hold on, James Conner. He went to
Same school as a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
NC
How about
State.
this? No. I'll know give it to team he played for early in his career.
Pittsburgh.
That's correct.
Boom. One for
I was
one.
waiting for the university
One for one.
because that technically is wrong if he's saying it based off of the NFL team.
1 for 1.
All right.
He's over.
All right. Well, that takes the fantasy phenoms to 6-6 and in 5th place, and it takes WFT No.21 football respect red dot yellow dot feathered flag to 5-7 and 7.
Yes.
Next matchup.
Matchup of the week: Jake Bryan.
What a doo-doo game.
Doo-doo.
You don't say that because you lost.
Yeah, well, I got my rights.
He does have rights.
So you got turd sandwiches, original projection 144. You had victim of the system, original projection 135. The final 139 to 117 in favor of turd sandwiches. All right, let's jump into this. Joe Mixon, big game,
Yes.
led the way for you, Jake, with 30, 2 rushing touchdowns, 165 yards rushing. But who's counting?
He might be becoming the second best running back in football.
Behind Jake's other running back, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Who
Didn't get the ball until the final drive.
and still put up 17.
Because they gave him the ball in the final drive. It was like he had 25 yards. The final
That's the last
drive,
game of the season.
I
Can't
think
hold
he
anything
literally
back.
went up to 85 rushing yards and a touchdown just on that final drive.
You think they were just because it's Tampa's defense?
Carson Wentz was having a great day. I will say that. I do not want to say the offense was stagnant because it wasn't. They were moving the ball. They were taking shots downfield. Tampa is horrific in the secondary where they have a good front seven. I think they took advantage of that. Tampa was playing more conservative in the secondary because they thought there was no way that they would
So
be
we
trying.
need to be.
Well, they were thinking they were going to continue to try to take shots. Instead, they came out and ran it.
You
and
can't
they
be liberal
overboxed.
about these situations.
Yeah, he
Conservative.
struggled most of the day, but found ways there at the end to make him fantasy relevant.
Yes, some
You're
other.
Ryan now.
I'm Ryan. I am Ryan. Yeah, that's what happened. Dang it. He had some good weeks, Jake. I mean, Cooper Kupp even doesn't find the end zone, but still puts up 15. Darnell Mooney with 15. Stafford, just
He can't
gets over
stop
his
throwing it to
projection.
the other team.
Okay.
I think he's had 3 weeks in a row of a pick six.
That's why I was like Matt Schaub, dude. He did that. He had like a long going streak of pick sixes.
He did.
Matt Schaub. When's the last time you talked about him?
They were talking. It was like
3 games in a row, pick six.
Yeah, he had done it. Who for Schaub?
Stafford.
Oh no! How many did Schaub have?
All right, let's look it up.
Because they were talking about it on the opening drive of that game. And they said, well, he's had a history of throwing pick sixes. You think he can do it this game, or you think he'll be fine?
Oh. All right, how many games?
4.
Boom, nailed it. 1 for 1.
Does Stafford tie?
I don't know.
Who they playing this week? I guess we'll talk about that in
They
our.
played Dallas. I'd say yes.
We'll talk about that in our matchup preview. But yeah, he did.
All right. Edge of my seat.
But 4 straight games, Stafford's knocking on that
Yeah,
door.
the first play, he threw pick 6 right in there. Yeah, it was great. Not for Schaub, obviously. Well, he made his money. What do I care?
Yeah, true.
He's still better than I am.
I don't know, man.
No,
You're
he
doing
is.
pretty good.
I'm doing okay. I'm not mad at myself. He's
Don't
still
beat
doing
yourself
better
up,
than me.
man.
I'm not.
I'd take you over Matt Schaub any day.
Yeah, I would too.
You say that. But would you?
Karen
I
Collins.
I'd
take
take.
Karen
Yeah.
I'd sell both you fuckers for some Brett Favre. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you.
Sell us?
Yes. You're white.
All right, let's go to the other side of the ball. Here we got victim of the system led by Josh Allen, who you was just talking crap about like 5 minutes ago, with 34.
I'm not saying he's. I'm just saying he's not. He doesn't.
34?
He could do 34 every week.
Wish I had a quarterback I could say that about.
You got Matt Stafford, who's pretty much been like good all year.
Yeah, he has been.
Except for like 2 games there in the middle.
Except for the last 2 games before that.
No, his last game put up 25. He's
Well,
the
that was
6th ranked player in the
I
NFL.
like Stafford.
You're complaining about him, and you're complaining about the number 1 ranked player in fantasy football.
You're just hurt because Pat Mahomes can't play football this year.
He's somewhere between those,
Yeah,
1
he's
and
like
6,
3rd or 4th.
Yeah, so I mean, I ain't that mad.
You sound like it.
How about, because it would kind of lead more to this week. I'll wait and talk about one of those players later on. We're going to talk about Zeke, but I'll wait. And then we've already kind of talked about Kyle Pitts, that trade for you. I kind of wish I kept Knox at this point, but
I'm happy with it.
I need Claypool just because, I would still be hurting at wide receiver 3 if not, especially with A.J. Brown.
He's got a lot of boom potential still, though.
Yeah, and they still throw downfield to him. So, he's been getting these without touchdowns. He's still waiting for that to happen, and then his production will go up.
It's true. Cordell Patterson, Bryan, again, you do it every year. You do it every year.
Yeah.
You pick up a guy on free agency, and everybody's like,
I don't think he's going to continue this. And then
Y'all laughed at me.
We don't laugh at you anymore.
I'm done laughing at you. I'm going to laugh with you from now on. Yeah, Cordell Patterson, 26. Dawson Knox, just thought about him. He had 2 touchdowns, 16. Buffalo looked good for you, Bryan. Buffalo and Cordell Patterson. Everybody else, not so good.
Not so good.
Saquon.
I screwed up with Aaron Jones. I should have listened to you. I thought about it. They said Aaron Jones penciled in for 10 touches. And I thought, that's minimal. If he's getting 10, he's getting 15. He had 10 touches.
If you had put Thielen in, it would have been a really good matchup.
It would have been close.
Yeah. Jake would have won, but it would have been by.
If I'd have put in
points.
Thielen and Swift hadn't gone down to the second quarter.
Yes, that was another beat.
Yeah, so if you do those things right there, this matchup is completely changed.
Right.
Yes.
So, good weeks. You still put up 117. It's
Yeah,
and you had
at this
some
point,
points on your bench.
Wins are good. We're just trying to be ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, and you got a good squad going into the playoffs. Jake, you pull out another one, put up right around 140, which if I had to guess, that's probably around your average.
Yeah.
So, good job, gang.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, so that takes Turd Sandwiches to 9-3 and in second place with a 7-game winning streak. And it takes Victim of the System to 9-3 and in third. All right, what's up next, Jake?
Pick updates.
All right, how'd we do last week?
So, Bryan, Ryan, JT went 3-2.
Ow!
Bryan now is 29-31 on the year.
Yay, Bryan.
I'm the only one that went 2-3. I'm now
29-31.
35-25.
Do it.
Ryan is 37-23, and JT with a 6-game lead over our 6-pick lead, I guess is the way I should phrase it,
Sure.
with 43-17. Wow,
I'm
that's a
telling you.
really good percentage.
Have
there,
you
big
been?
guy.
Have you been doing?
Have you been?
That's my worst week in quite
Have you
some
been
time.
listening to our podcast over and over and over again?
I do listen to it a couple times, yeah.
How many times a week you listen to a podcast?
At least 2, sometimes more. Depending on if y'all say funny stuff.
That's every week then.
Yeah. Not every week.
Thank you, Bailey, for distracting him. So
Not
you're
every
able to do
But
it.
yeah,
It's too late now. It's
at
too
least
late.
twice.
It's too late. Oh.
I listened to it one time all the way through, and then
Dude, that music last week is the funniest shit.
did you hear
Yes.
the
Oh, I did. That was between his matchup.
I can't remember whose
I can't
matchup it
remember
was
who it was.
in.
I don't know.
But yeah, I had to go to the bathroom, and then these clowns, instead of talking fantasy, they just do their own thing. What do you know? What do you know?
Do better. That's on you.
I can't help it, man. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Sure. Too.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Then I guess the other thing that we need to do. This is not feeling right without Ryan being here, but we got to do bold predictions. You want to go ahead and jump to that?
Jump to those. 'Cause we didn't
Bold
do
predictions. Brian said Herbert, 447 yards and 3 touchdowns.
What do you do?
For those that cannot see, or well, none of
No
y'all
one
can see
can see
this.
the podcast. It's an audio recording.
For those, okay. Brian just hit his hand on the table really hard, and
Worse in the middle.
Oh, look, I've already gotten it. Go.
man,
Sorry,
you're
guys.
so witty. You're so now Brian's playing with Bela, the dog. Yeah. So bold predictions, Brian. First one, Justin Herbert, wrong.
Really? What do you do?
447 and 3 touchdowns.
He could have if you
He only
wanted
scored 13 points. So touchdowns
Herbert?
is off. I'm talking about the Chargers. They only scored 13. So he
okay.
couldn't have had 3 touchdowns.
No, he
So
couldn't have
wrong.
3 touchdowns.
But he did make that in the first minute of the show. So
Next up,
for what it's worth.
Just hit me.
JT Saquon Barkley, 98 yards and a touchdown.
Wrong.
JT Billy, 20 plus fantasy points.
It's
Talking about the
wrong,
defense?
but I don't. It was wrong.
It was wrong. Group OBJ over under 10.6. JT Ryan under Bryan over. Bryan with the correct answer.
Oh, nice.
JT and Ryan are
Wrong.
wrong. JT Cam plus
Oh,
1.
my God.
Cam plus 1.
I don't know what it means. Cam plus 1.
That's what it looks like.
Probably still
No,
wrong.
plus CMC.
Oh,
Cam
can you
plus-
see what I could get that?
Cam plus CMC, 55 combined fantasy points. They put up 9. Big miss.
Play it.
Big miss.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Let it rain on him for a moment.
I'm aware, Brian. Brian, I hope I beat the shit out of you.
Oh, this could change matchup of the week all of a sudden.
Yeah, good hands, feet. All right, next.
Brian, Wentz
Yes?
better than Brady. That was
He's
correct.
right.
Brian, you're
I'm doing pretty good right here.
Yeah, you only missed one. And then Brian, Swift better than Taylor.
Yeah, well, Swift was already.
Yeah, Swift had already
Already
played,
played,
and he
yeah.
said that
Oh, I
Taylor
do
was going to
remember
be
that.
under 3 or whatever.
That was
Swift
not
had.
right.
It was a good. You took a shot. You know, I
You
can
did take
respect
some
that.
shots. All right.
All right, so what we got next?
Waiver wire pickup.
Wait, what? Wrap up.
Wrap up.
I
pick
put
up.
what I put updates.
Updates.
I'm
Yeah,
stupid.
you messed it all up.
All right, so what do we have, Jake? Who spent money this week?
Scorp did. Scorp, who has been very conservative with his money up until this
Scorp
point,
did.
was fearful over Darrell Henderson and his injury, and went got his backup, which was kind of a trend this week. He wanted to make sure he handcuffed himself with at least 2 of his running backs because he made the trade for Madison that we talked about earlier. Now he goes and picks up Sony Michel for $30. So
That's a good. I mean,
but now they're
he's a
saying
good
Darrell
pick.
Henderson might play.
Even if he does, though, I mean, he's covered himself
Yeah.
for the playoffs, and that's a good well use of fab.
I was thinking about that because I went and picked up, which he won't be on here. I picked up Hines because of maybe a Taylor injury after the week of injuries. I thought about it with Joe Mixon, and I know Samaje Perine, correct? Is that how you say
You
it?
did really good.
I'm proud of myself. Yes, this is new. You need to change
Maybe
that.
Ryan's
audio
the
to a
problem.
Yes.
Maybe.
Does Ryan bring down your self confidence?
Yes. Very much so.
You're stupid. I'm trying
Well,
to
now
trying to
it's
fill
well,
in.
now
I'm
it's
trying to fill
going.
in. I'm trying to fill in.
Shimona, Perini, Shimona Perini.
Pinier? I don't know what's going on.
Say his name again.
I know you got you brought up Ryan. It's all good. Is Sony Michel the guy with him out to be a fantasy dominant back?
I think he's got the shot of being maybe not dominant, but at least being productive.
Or do you think with the weapons they have at the receivers, they just become more aggressive within the passing game? I mean, they haven't really tried to establish a run.
Well, they might.
I like Sony Michel as a again, solid handcuff. Yeah, I think that's a great use of Fab. I think he's a solid handcuff to have with Darrell Henderson. But, I mean, he's still got Miles Sanders that he can flip-flop in that flex as well. Which, I mean, if he had Miles Sanders handcuffed, then he might be onto something. But, you know, it is what it is. Indeed.
Well said.
Next up, Ryan. I'm going to mess the easiest one up because it's Ryan. Russell Gage.
You got
it. Oh, thank God. He spent $2.
How do you mess up Russell Gage?
Because Ryan's in my head, man.
You're a teacher.
He's in my head. What do you want me to say? It's Ryan.
Oh, man. Do you ever...
Dude, I could say something completely wrong in class, and they're all so stupid they're not going to call me on it.
They did whenever you brought up the front row.
Well, they know Scooby-Doo. They still watch it.
They still believe that. I can sell it to them.
Kids are stupid.
They're no.
They're our future.
No. You're not seeing what we're seeing.
No.
You better. That was messed up, man.
Downhill. That's what I said. Downhill.
Let's. He picked up Russell Gage, did he?
Yeah, for $2.
$2.
That's good.
Was there any other
That's
bids
real
on any
good.
of those guys?
Oh yeah, I'll look that up. And what's the last one, Jake?
And then Broach picked up a defense, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
There was on Sony Michel. Broach put in $2, but obviously outbid. And then Kendrick Bourne got picked up with a 0 offer by you.
Yep.
Ryan also put in a 0 offer, of course.
I kind of want to talk about him for a second.
Ryan? All right, let's do it.
Bourne. So he's a guy that if
you
you
didn't
actually
know who
look
he
at
was,
his
ends up on a fishing boat.
go look at his fantasy points. Like
All
he's
right.
actually put up some pretty good stats this season.
And
he's
so much
on-
time trying to figure out who the hell he is.
He's on limited.
He's an assassin. An effing assassin.
Ryan's not here, man. You can't do this.
I'm
Ryan's
forcing
not-
me on y'all. Please.
That's a crime. That's a crime. You just admitted to that on an open mic.
Embrace my stupidity.
I'm not embracing anything you're trying to do right now.
Oh, yes, you are, Big Daddy.
That
Don't you
means-
tell me you aren't.
That means nothing.
Again, you're really towing that line of criminal intention right now. Just seeing if you had anything else you was going to add.
I'm done.
Yeah, but Kendrick Bourne, he has been good. It's just not like it's not necessarily an every week thing, but his good weeks
But
have
he's
been.
on limited snaps. Like,
True.
this is crazy. When I watched the game, because I finally kind of watched a little bit of the New England game,
Mhm.
and what he was doing reminded me a lot of guys who have had a lot of success in New England before. Even when they use tight ends in these situations, the quick winners in the middle of the field. Like, he finds ways to get the 5-yard catches. But he has the opportunity to take those 5-yarders and turn them into 15 yards, which become everywhere's gone.
Another question for you: does Bill Belichick win Coach of the Year?
Should
he?
Yeah.
Should he?
Yeah,
If they win that division, it's going to be hard to turn that down.
I think so.
They're now in first, right?
They're 8-4,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
They're looking good.
Mac Jones
man.
looking good.
Yeah,
Defense, I think that's
their run game looks good. I mean, like
you never know who it's going to be.
No, it's a kind of a different thing each week. Like you don't know, you don't exactly know how to predict like who's gonna catch a touchdown, who's gonna be the lead rusher. But they just keep finding ways to win, and pretty impressively.
Yeah. So I don't know that one. Maybe he sucks for the rest of the year, but it was worth taking a chance on him getting more playing time, and he's been putting up good stats with having an opportunity.
And then did we say the last one?
Yeah, we said Minnesota.
We said Minnesota. Yeah, that was another
Yes.
bid on that for also $1. Ryan had a lower waiver, so Broach got it.
Nice.
There you go. All right, I guess it's about that time then.
It is full on that time.
All right, week 13.
We'll see you. Oh, yeah.
Week
Preview.
13 matchup
Preview.
preview. All right, Jake, first matchup.
JT Brown.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
We had to start with this one.
I'm coming for you this week, big guy.
What you doing your personal time? It's all your business.
Kind of forcing yourself back at him right now.
Yeah.
All right, you got the Colter personality.
I
I don't know what you said.
I think he said toe in the line, but it came out there in the line.
All right, you got the Colter personality
Pick a
versus.
side. You pick a damn side right now and you stick with it. You do this back and forth.
I'm flip flopper.
Runs in his head. Colter personality
Damn
versus
you, Ryan.
victim of the system. Original projection 128 to 126. Live projection 132 to 120.
In favor of
Colter personality.
because you're.
I was going to fill in the blank with something else, but okay. I was going to say still going to lose. Amari Cooper went for Bryan, playing for Dallas. 5.1. Also had I had a Dallas Cowboy as well. Tony Pollard, 14.4. And that is what changes the matchup from the original projection. Amari Cooper still recovering from COVID. They said that they talked about it in pregame, how like if you've got another option, you might want to start somebody over Cooper. I didn't see it until after the game started. I didn't see the pregame coverage.
You could have had Gallup in, who had an amazing touchdown.
Yeah, he did have a really good touchdown. I thought about starting Gallup. I actually had him in my lineup over Ayuk, but
Did you pick Cordell on your bench just because he's going against Tampa?
So far, yeah. I'm still contemplating things.
Yeah, that would have been the switch, I guess.
Yeah, would have been at the time. Yep. Past tense, Jake.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Saquon, what's he do this week? Put me down for 98 total yards and a touchdown.
That's what you had last week.
So I had the week before, too. Eventually, I'm going to hit it.
Or you're just going to keep jinxing him so he doesn't do anything.
Wait, Miami's playing? I don't know.
Daniel Jones is out, which it's not a bad thing, I guess. I don't know. I like Daniel Jones.
I do, too.
He's just, you talk about risky.
Yeah.
That's Daniel Jones, and I like that. I really do. They just don't have – they don't have an offensive line. Saquon's been banged up. They don't have Devontae Booker is decent at best fill-in, but I mean, you're not really going to run the ball. Your offense is not going to run through Devontae Booker.
No.
Then you got Kadarius Toney. He's doubtful, probably not going to play. You've got Kenny Golladay, who's been bad all year. You've got Sterling Shepard, who's also banged up. Evan Ingram. I don't even know about Evan Ingram anymore. I have no clue about him.
Yeah.
So Saquon, if he's
I picked
a
him
good
up,
week,
so I know.
maybe it's this week. So put me down for 98 yards and a touchdown, and
I'm going to go to your team.
I feel good about that.
And I'm going to go the Javonte route. I think he's going to eclipse the 100-yard mark for the first time in his career, and he's also going to find the end zone. So I'm going over 100 yards and a touchdown for him.
He had 100 yards in week 9.
Second time in his career.
There you go.
Now it's making the bold prediction. I guess I got to
Who's
go
it
up
again?
2 touchdowns.
Dallas.
Oh.
Dallas. Solid defense.
That's all defense.
Yeah, now I'm not feeling very good about my prediction.
Make it bolder. Make it bolder.
I said 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns? Okay, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Over 100 yards.
100 plus, 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so that takes out Saquon right there. Good.
You got a couple of good opportunities this week with him not having Melvin Gordon going, as well as Brandon Ayuk without
Debo.
Yes.
And Brandon Ayuk last year, week 10 through 16, was wide receiver 3.
Yes.
And that's why the whole reason I'm drafting this year. But they took what Ayuk did last year, and they said, you know what, we got a guy that's even better. Let's do the same thing to him. And so, Debo's been the guy that offenses ran through, which for good reason and that was a good decision for sure. But, I am excited to see what Ayuk does this week.
Making another bold prediction, I'm going to say he is going to have at least –
You'll see his stat lines.
No, I'm gonna go bold. I'm going to say he's going to have at least 20 fantasy points.
Son of a bitch, I'm going to beat the shit out of you, bro.
Pat Mahomes,
We're going
3 touchdowns this week. 300 and
I'm waiting for the boldness here, Brian.
375
Oh, my
yards.
gosh.
I mean, he has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games under 3 touchdowns. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
300. What was your bold prediction again for Mahomes?
375, 3 touchdowns.
375, 3 touchdowns.
he is ranked 5th in fantasy, by the way. So, like I said, between 1 and 6. Yeah.
Cute.
Cute.
I guess.
they're coming off a bye, so maybe they got some of the kinks worked out in their offense. That's what I'm hoping, at least.
Bryan also gets the benefit from injuries. Well, not really because he handcuffed himself, but Williams is going to get a workload there too. So I think he could have.
I don't think Williams as a lead back is as effective as like Madison as a lead back.
Right, I agree with that. But I think he's going to get.
I don't. I think Madison goes to another team and he's a top 10 fantasy running back.
That's really
maybe because he's been good when Dalvin doesn't play. Like Madison's penciled in and he gets all of Dalvin Cook's work.
So you think Madison will outscore Williams this week?
Oh yeah, I do.
You think the same?
Yeah, I'd say so. I will say this though, I got put me down for Detroit getting their first win.
I hope so. Man,
I hope so too. I don't want to see a team go 0. I don't want to see a team go 0 and whatever, or 18 or 17 to 0. I don't want to see either one.
I like the Cubs just because I liked the Cubs. I was never one of those that people like Chicago because they could never win. Mm-hmm. Detroit is the first team that I pull for because that just sucks so bad.
Yeah.
And what they've done, and you had Stafford and Calvin, you've had Sanders, and you've never been to a Super Bowl ever.
They were strong.
You've gone through times of great teams. They still can't go to the Super Bowl.
They were strong with Stafford and Calvin for like a 2 or 3 year stretch, like either making the playoffs or right on the cusp of it. But they couldn't get that figured out. Largely, again, they didn't really have weapons around those two. It was mainly just those two.
Right.
But they had huge seasons. I won't. It's more so I want Detroit to get a win. If they're going to get one, I don't know what their schedule looks like. I'm going to take a look at it now. Minnesota, Denver next week, Arizona, Atlanta in week 16. If they
that might be where I place my money on.
If they don't get it this week, I think Atlanta is going to be probably their best shot in week 16.
And I'm telling you, you got. I know, baby. I can't do the show.
Which they should have beat Chicago. I mean, they really should have.
There's teams like Carolina shutting it down for the year pretty much. Detroit they're fighting.
Yeah,
but they're fighting for a cultural change. Yes. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're already going to be pretty locked into one of the
Which is, I think, how teams need to do it.
I like Dan Campbell, too. I do.
I like Campbell, yeah.
I like him. I want him to get a win.
Yeah. I want y'all to know on the first matchup, we've already had 5 bowl predictions.
Good, because we didn't really have many last week. I like when we just fill it up with bowl predictions,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
Oh,
7th.
All right, hold on. Big for your team. That Monday night game, the weather is supposed to be terrible.
Snow?
There's a chance. All right, so it says rain and snow with a high of 51. It's supposed to get up to 51, I think, either early in the morning. But it's going to
cold front coming through.
Yeah, so it's going to be a low of 33 that night. They're talking about it being right around 33 to 35 degrees at game time. Rain and snow, 90% chance precipitation.
Josh Allen, 78 yards rushing and a touchdown rushing.
And we're saying the wind's going to be bad too, like 20-mile-an-hour sustained winds.
Josh Allen, over 100 yards rushing. 2 touchdowns.
So
on the ground.
Yeah, so Josh Allen in a passing situation may be a little bit more limited than usual, but I think they're going to have to run him a little bit more too.
Yeah.
And then also 2 rushing touchdowns?
2 touchdowns, yeah, 2 rushing.
And then Buffalo's defense, again, like New England's going to have to run the ball because Mac Jones doesn't have the arm that Josh Allen does. Josh Allen can cut through that wind a little bit. Mac Jones, not saying he's got a terrible arm or anything.
Bourne could have a big game. We just talked about a little.
Maybe.
I'm not starting them.
Yeah, maybe. That's going to be a game to watch.
I love watching those games.
I do too, and that's Monday night in primetime, 8:15. Be there.
Remember a couple years ago when Brady was up there and they had the fall game where the cameras couldn't even pick up anything, and they're like, "Yeah, you can't go downfield. You can't see it after 10 yards."
Yeah.
So.
I am excited to see that. And that has big implications in this matchup because you got 3 players all in Buffalo going on Monday night.
Yep.
So need a big lead, but I mean, maybe the weather will work out in my favor. All right, so who y'all taking?
You.
Ryan took JT. Bryan took JT.
Jake.
I took JT. Because I made a lot of bold predictions for your team.
I'm going to go JT.
Took a clean sweep over number 3.
Yep. I'm coming for you, Roberts.
Well, damn, we know what that means. I just need to change it.
You picked me too, you idiot.
Huh?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm doing that with respect.
I'm trying to channel my inner
Bryan wouldn't call me an idiot. He respects me.
He's in my head.
He's in my head. Ryan, you're with us here in spirit too. All right. All right. Clean sweep. Next matchup. Matchup number 2.
Matchup number 2 this week will be Broach Mikkel.
Broach Mikkel. All right. We got Magic Mike. Projected at 118.7 live and original versus I'm immunized live and original at 0. Taking Broach.
You know what that means?
Taking Broach.
All right. Well, we got
Who did calculations last week without me?
I did.
Brian did calculation. You got to do calculation, Jake. All right. Starting quarterback. It's going to be down between Lamar and Hurts.
I still think he's going to go Lamar.
Yeah,
It's going to rain.
Where's Hurts playing? The Jets? I don't know.
But that means he's going to run it more.
It's true. Yeah. All right. Let's go Lamar 28.
All right.
3 receivers. Devontae's on bye. Oh, that hurts.
Oh.
Jacoby Myers 10.
Okay.
Boyd.
Tyler Boyd
8.
with 8.
Ugh.
He does not have another receiver.
No, he does not.
So he'll have to pick up someone. Let's just say another 8, maybe.
Yeah, give him an 8.
All right.
Running backs, he's going to start.
Let me go look at receivers.
Okay. Running back, he's going to start Devin Singletary.
Yeah, that was a game that you just said.
Yeah, that I think Devin Singletary is a pretty good start there. So give me 9 for Singletary. And then the next one, his next highest is Drake, Kenyon Drake with 7. Let's go him. Tight end, go Cole Kmet at 8.
All right.
Flex, go. Or hold on, excuse me. No. Zach Ertz with 9. So just add it. And then I guess, just go 7 for whoever else he throws
He
in.
should
What about
pick up.
Hey,
He's either going to start Kmet, Burkhead.
We'll go Komet because it's probably the highest projection.
Just by a point. And then
defense.
Miami's defense, 12.
My calculations say it's going to be right around 99.
Parker is who he needs to pick up.
I don't think Devontae Parker's is
He's activated.
Yeah,
He is?
And he's practiced this week.
Okay,
And he's projected at 11.
I might go pick him up.
So that would be his top choice.
So we're saying right around 100. 100, give or take a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, 118 versus 100. We'll say that. Jerry Jeudy. Give me Jerry Jeudy for – I want to see his stat line because he's going to have his best game of the season. Give me Jerry Jeudy for 90 yards and a touchdown. He has not scored. He has not eclipsed 72 yards. I think they got to get either Jeudy or Sutton one. They really got to get going.
You said he would have
90 yards and a touchdown. I know, again, with Javonte getting his first start, I don't even know who their third running back is, to be honest with you.
Nobody knows.
Okay,
Gronk, 45 and a touchdown.
45 points?
Yards.
Okay.
Gronk, 45 yards.
Antonio Gibson, he was banged up there a little bit, kind of middle of the season with that stress fractures, 3.4, 6.6, 6.9, but he's been pretty good 2 of the last 3 weeks, putting up over 20. And he was good against Carolina. He just didn't find the end zone. He had 95 rushing yards. He also coughed up the football, so that hurt. But he's been pretty solid.
Wait, Heineke was still in football.
Heineke.
You feel good about that?
Nope.
Good.
Heineke.
Do you feel good about it?
It feels good, actually. I like it. Broach just continues to be hurt by Alvin Kamara being out.
Stop doing that to him, Kamara.
Kamara's been out the past 4 weeks. He is projected to come back next week, so we'll take another look at it. Yeah, and then Russell Wilson. He's got 3 quarterbacks. He's got Russell Wilson. He's got Kirk Cousins, whom he's starting against Detroit. He's got Tua.
Yes, and you like Tua.
I do like Tua. Honestly,
Tua likes Gesicki.
I do think I would start Tua.
Cousins going against Detroit.
I
There's
know.
only one with one running back.
Yeah.
So I can see both.
I just think I don't know. I think Miami's clicking. I don't think Minnesota's clicking.
That's true.
And that's more so what I feel like there. Plus, Tua, you got more of a rushing chance there.
How surprised are you that he's not going with Russell Wilson?
I'm not surprised.
I mean, he sucks. I mean, I shouldn't say that. He's not typical Russell Wilson. Let me rephrase that.
He sucks.
I mean, he put up 23 fantasy points last week, which fantasy-wise, that's pretty good, but it didn't look good.
For sucking.
You're pretty committed to that sucking portion.
I do.
He sucks.
He's flexing Gesicki at his tight end, or he's.
If you're gonna do that, why would you not try to go with double up with Tua?
Yeah, I don't know. I might start Harris over Gesicki this week though, because again, that's going to be a game, and I think they're going to have to run.
You don't know what running back.
But Damian Harris has been solid.
Stevenson, solid. Burkhead, they got four that they're using, dude.
Damian Harris pretty much needs to score a touchdown to have a good week. He's had a couple good weeks. Actually, he's only had one game over 10 points without scoring a touchdown.
Yes.
So he needs to score. Gesicki, on the other hand, he hadn't had a good outing really since week 7. He really has. Under 8.3 since week 8. 7.40, 7.5, 3.2. Again, Waddle's been the main beneficiary from Tua coming back. All right. At Michael's team, you'll make a couple bold predictions here.
Well, you always have to scroll down to.
Yeah. I don't know.
The one that intrigues me the most is Ertz with Murray. Ertz has been pretty good since he's been in Arizona.
Yeah. Right before their bye last week, he had 8 catches, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. And then he was kind of a dud for 3 weeks. And
his first week there was against Houston, I believe.
That was with Kyler.
Yeah.
Was, I think the last game with Kyler, right?
I think so.
No, he might have 2 games. I don't know.
What do you think he does? Throw something out there.
Plays football.
Chicago, I'm going to say, I mean, it's not really a bold prediction, but I'll say like 75 yards and a touchdown.
Okay. Go with it. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Look, I mean, right now we're just trying to hit stat lines because, I mean, our bold predictions are pretty bad. So maybe we need to tone them down a little bit. But if he has 75 yards and a touchdown, that makes him a top 5 tight end easy.
Yeah. Just 75 yards would be something I would take at this point.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that.
Because we're not even including catches within that. I swear to God, every toy that has a squeaker is going to be freaking burned.
You buy it.
I do not.
You let them live here.
That is true.
You got it.
Either way,
you got it.
It's on you, buddy.
It's always on me, isn't it?
It is.
This is why we don't live together anymore.
That's right. You almost hit me.
Yes, I did.
All right, so who y'all taking? Magic Mike's versus I'm Immunized.
Magic Mike's.
Taking Broach.
That would go Broach.
Taking Broach. Give me Broach as well. Ryan also took Broach. That makes it 2 clean sweeps. 2 for 2 out of our first 2 matchups.
Are you playing defense against Ryan?
No.
Okay.
I got a 6-game lead on him.
Not even worried about him. He ain't even thinking about him.
I just pick with my heart, man. I just pick with my heart. That's what I've been doing all year.
You threw it. She's going to get it. She's going to bring it back this time. It's going to squeak.
I pick with my heart.
All right.
Sure.
Next up, Ryan Rightmyer.
All right. So we got the Fantasy Phenoms at 6-6 and in 5th place.
It was Rightmyer's team then.
Why you got to say this? Versus Not Last at 2-10 and in 9th. All right, the original projection 138 to 130. Live projection swings in favor of Rightmyer 127 to 131.
All right.
CeeDee Lamb went for Rightmyer on Thursday night, 15.7, and Mark Ingram, number 2, went Thursday night as well, 3.1, and that's really what changes your projection here. Ryan was projected to win in the original.
CeeDee Lamb could have had 30 fantasy points. They went for it on a 4th and 2, I believe. They ran CeeDee Lamb across the formation while the play was going, and then he went upfield. No one covered him. And Dak threw it inside, and he broke outside. If he had thrown it back to the outside, CeeDee would have walked in for like a 40-yard touchdown. I mean, there was no one within 10 yards of him. It was just a miscommunication on which way he should have turned his head. That's what it looked like on the play. Or Dak was kind of looking the safety off and then tried to go back. at the last moment. But still a good game by CD and not a good game for Mark Ingram.
Big Ben expects to leave Pittsburgh?
I expect him to retire.
I did too.
I didn't
dude.
expect him to just leave.
Nah, I don't. I still.
Dude,
that
that's
just
still
don't
crazy
feel
with
right.
me.
That
Who's
just
gonna-
that don't
who's
feel
gonna-
right.
Who's going to pick him up?
I don't think anybody.
Well,
Unless you.
As a starting quarterback,
we would probably pick him up as a starting quarterback.
I don't think he would be bad in like some type of mentor role, like to a
Sure.
younger
what
quarterback.
about Houston with, I mean, Tyrod's not bad. Would you rather have Big Ben or Tyrod Taylor?
Tyrod. All day I'd rather have Tyrod.
I think he'd be better suited to. I'm trying to think.
Does Green Bay go after a guy like this if they do lose Rodgers?
No.
I mean, Jordan Love sucks, and they ain't gonna have a high enough pick to get
The
someone.
only reason you're
like-
losing Rodgers is because you drafted Jordan Love.
Yeah, he sucks.
I know, but I mean,
Yeah.
you can't turn because
But now as an
Rodgers
organization-
is gone.
But now as an organization, you're like, hey, you know, Rodgers never wanted to take this guy under his
Nah, you
wing.
gotta-
We're gonna
you
bring
gotta go
Big
to your
Ben
best
in.
Well,
I don't-
because Aaron Rodgers is going to do the same thing that Brett Favre did.
I knew he was going to do it.
Yeah.
It happens to everybody.
Right. I don't know, man. I feel like the only reason Big Ben's starting in Pittsburgh is because of the success he's had there throughout his whole career. You know what I mean?
He's not played well.
It's not that. Yeah, it's. I mean,
And they have no
don't
one else.
have anybody else either.
There's no one.
But if you're given off
There's
season,
no way.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Sorry.
I don't know about that. All right, well, how y'all feel about the Chargers this week? They got Cincinnati.
I can't put a finger on the Chargers, man.
I can't either.
There's games where I look at them going in and I think, Eckler's going to destroy or Herbert's going to destroy. And it turns out to be a dogfight, and I can't figure out why, how.
In their last 6 games, they are 2-4. And Herbert has been up and down. Since week 5, put up 50. Huge game. Next week, 13. Next week, 15. Then 35. Then 14. Then 40. Then 21. It's a roller coaster. He is ranked the third best fantasy player in fantasy football.
Yeah.
Just goes to show you that the quarterback position has been highly volatile.
Very volatile.
Speaking of Pittsburgh, though, talked about Big Ben just a second ago. Freiermuth is in Rightmyer's tight end slot.
Muth is loose.
And he's been solid
Yeah, he
since
has.
week 6. He's been solid. Yeah,
But
one
Big Ben's
game.
always liked tight ends. I mean, this shouldn't be something that's a huge surprise to most of us.
So
Yeah.
him leaving next year, does that make Freiermuth better or valuable, less valuable?
It depends on
Depends
who.
on the quarterback. I mean, I think as long as they keep the head coach, the system won't change much.
They ain't getting rid of that head coach.
They'll bring in Jared Goff
I could actually see him doing
because
that.
I don't think he's going back to Detroit.
I don't think Detroit's going to bring him back.
I don't think so either. I don't know what his contract situation is, but
He might have another year.
No, I thought they re-signed him.
did they? They pulled a Darnold.
I thought that's what
We didn't re-sign
No,
him.
I thought
we
that's
gave us
what
option.
Picked up
I thought
stupid
what
option.
the Rams had done. They had re-signed him for some reason.
Oh,
I could be wrong because I thought they had just gave him an extension and then I don't know.
I can check it
I'm
right
just gonna be
quick.
quiet.
Jared Goff contract.
Why?
We know why.
Jared Goff contract. He is supposed to be there for at least 3 more seasons.
3 more?
Man, yeah.
That's tough.
He's got a potential out after next season.
Well, that's going to be it.
Maybe. All right, jumping back into this matchup. Kyler Murray is projected to come back this week, projected at 27.19. That's definitely going to be a welcome back for Ryan's team because, well, largely he doesn't really want to start Carson Wentz. Which, again, there's something to say there. Again, he's had some 30 games. He's had some games where he scores 7. So you don't really know what to expect there. But with Kyler Murray coming back, what do you expect from him, Bryan, in Chicago?
I don't know. I really don't know.
But Kyler's been up and down too,
Yeah, I mean, even when
even when he was healthy.
I think he'll have a standard
Does he?
easy
All right,
game.
over or under his projection? 27.
Nah,
Under?
under. I'd put him at like 22, 23.
Okay, Jake?
I'm gonna say over his projection.
Okay.
I think they've been slowly working him back. I think he's probably fully healthy because they haven't been losing. There's no reason to rush him back.
No, they've taken their time.
And if he's coming back, Chicago, I don't know what to expect.
What are we doing in Chicago weather-wise?
Got rain. It is high 49, low 36, 75% chance of precipitation. Going to be some weather games this week to watch for sure. Buffalo, New England, kind of being the prime game, but there's some rain coming through the good old United States of America, Brian.
22.
All right,
so you're under the 28. Let's just say 28, and I'm going to go over
28. It's 27.
Oh, excuse
27.1.
27. So Brian,
over under 27. Brian takes the under. Jay takes the over. JT takes exactly 27 to 27.99. I'm going in that. He's going to score 27.
So you got to go over under.
No, it's push.
Yeah, it's push.
Don't be that guy.
Why? I think that's harder because I'm going on a much smaller range.
Yeah, you are.
Ooh, Jake got me.
Don't play the booze.
No, I've given up.
Oh no,
it's just a running boo. That's all this podcast was going to be. He is starting Russell Gage in his.
Really mean.
I was talking about myself. I do the most talking, so.
Lord knows you do.
All right, let's hear your fantasy football analysis. Let's hear it. Why don't you host? All right, giving it to you. Let's hear it.
Well, I'm not doing that.
Here, I give it to Peter too. Look, here, you take it.
Things really took a turn.
There's
there,
some
guys.
big things there, Roberts. You got to put the mic where everybody can talk into it. There you go. First rule of hosting.
Guys, things have really taken a turn
All right.
here. Hey, that's the school computer. Let me first start about that. Why did you give him a computer? Oh, I'm fired. I'm fired.
There you go, boys. That's all I need to know. You want to take the computer back now?
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
I'll take it. All right. I should have known that you were a computer. I should have just let you hire. You're still hosting.
We can do that one week. We won't do it this week.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess you better stop
Criticizing.
shit.
Because you're coming for him this
I
week.
was just agreeing on what you said.
You're coming for him this week.
I am coming for you this week, Roberts. All right. What do you think from Kelsey? Brian, he was formerly a victim of the system.
I think Kelsey's really starting to turn it on. I think this is the point of the season where Kansas City's really going to start turning it on. I think you're going to see Pat Mahomes start performing better.
Then give me a bold prediction on
Kelsey's going to start performing more consistently. I think he's going to be able to spread the ball because he's been doing alternate games a lot with Tyreek having a big game or Kelsey having a big game, and when both of them can succeed.
It's weird. I'm going to show you an interesting trend right here. So Travis Kelsey, 3 games, first 3 games, all double digits. 4th game, single digits. Next 3 games, double digits. 4th game, single digits. Next 3 games, double digits. So this game should be single digits.
Should be. It won't be.
Then call him. Make a bold.
I can see him going 70 in the touchdown.
So you have him under what I projected Ertz.
Yeah, 70. Well, that's put him about 16.
Give me Travis Kelsey, number 1 tight end this week.
All right. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? Yeah. Looking at the rest of Ryan's team, he's got James Conner, kind of along with that Arizona stack with Kyler Murray. Fournette coming off that huge game playing Atlanta this week. That game could get out of hand quickly.
Very quick.
Fournette could see some pretty good work. Or, heck, they could end
Bench
up getting
him.
so
Ronald Jones.
Yeah, they could get up so that Ronald Jones has a shot to score a touchdown or 2. Hard to predict that one.
Yeah, that one's a little tougher.
No big Justin Herbert game this week, Brian?
No.
And
I've given up on
since
Herbert
he's
today.
looked a little bit better defensively. I mean, they definitely just blanked Pittsburgh. And
Oh, yeah.
I think another one interesting to look at, James Conner at Chicago, if that game is in the rain. I would think that's what you just mentioned a while ago.
75% chance?
If it isn't the Kyler Murray show, is it going to be the James Conner show?
Well, I think it's in the red zone. There's a good shot he's getting.
Oh, yeah.
Lord knows.
So,
Very good shot.
He'll get 20 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's so ridiculous.
He's had a much better year than I think any of us would have imagined.
It even started slow. Like he didn't get a lot of production earlier in the season. 5.3, 2.6, and then really after
since
that,
then, dude, it's been
Jacksonville
just
game.
solid. 12 rushing touchdowns.
That's the biggest difference.
Oh yeah,
him getting in the end zone.
You score touchdowns, you're going to be.
But I mean,
valuable.
that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
who was it?
Lindell
Gibson.
White.
Had 97 yards. Is that what it was when he played Carolina?
95 yards.
95 yards.
Ended up with 7.9 fantasy points because he lost a fumble too.
But if he had gotten 1 yard and a touchdown, he's only one less point.
Yeah.
I mean, touchdowns are everything.
Touchdowns are
life.
This guy gets it.
Yes. In fantasy football, touchdowns are life.
This guy gets it too. All right, who y'all taking in this matchup?
I know what the prediction says. I don't know, man. I'm really looking at. I know. I was about to go out and say
Ryan by double digits.
See, I really like the running back swing to maybe go in favor. Well, I don't know, James Robinson.
I'm going to Ryan by double digits.
I'm gonna be quiet for a minute.
Look, she got a U. She got a little J.
JT, here you go. Oh.
Let me go with Ryan.
Best way to put it.
Let's go to Bubba. Let's go with Ryan. Let's go to Bubba.
You have.
Why don't you look my phone?
All right, who you taking, Jake?
Give me a moment.
Who's Ryan taking? Ryan's taking.
Ryan took Rightmyer.
Okay, Jake.
I'm gonna take Ryan.
You ain't got to do a 30-minute speech. Just pick who you're going to.
I do it. I'm back and forth. Sometimes I.
Who'd you take?
I took Ryan.
Okay,
that's in my head.
Jake Scorp.
Oh, all right. Jake Scorp is our 1-2 matchup. In week 13 of the season, both of these teams coming off big win streaks. 9-game win streak for Scorp, 7-game win streak for Jake. Let's jump into the matchup. We have Turd Sandwiches, original projection 145, live projection 136 versus the Scorpion King, Andrew Speary, original projection 139, live projection 121. Scorp was hurt by that Dallas game with Dak only putting up 13 and with Schultz putting up a respectable 6.8.
It wasn't a very good day for either one of us.
Nah, because Ezekiel Elliott put up 5.7 on Turd Sandwiches.
I do want to talk about him for a moment.
All right, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Tony Pollard outperformed. I mean, he looks more explosive running the ball. Zeke looks like he's still like, I don't know. I call it the Le'Veon Bell back when Pittsburgh was there, like kind of waiting for a hole. And then when he does decide to go, it's not explosive into it. Like he's falling into a crowded line and falling for 2 or 3 yards. Really, if it hasn't been for his touchdowns lately, he is not fantasy relevant.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. He's eclipsed 100 yards rushing twice this season. The last time being in week 5.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Touchdowns have kept him somewhat valuable because, again, against Atlanta, 19. Against Vegas, he had 13 points.
I will say the 2 times that he went over 100 yards, he got 20 attempts or more. His attempts are also way down. 17, 16, 10, 14, 9, 9.
Is that
13.
Is that from him being banged up? Is that from Pollard just being efficient?
And they still try to throw the ball a lot with that.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that the games earlier in the year, when you go back and look at his better performances, and I think even Tony Pollard was carrying some stats during that time.
Yeah, he was.
They made a concerted effort to run the ball a lot. And I don't know what happened where they just are like, Dak's going to go back to throwing it 40 times. I don't know if they were worried about, was it a calf injury earlier in the year with Dak? And that's why.
It's not good when your calf gets hurt.
I don't know. I think they've also haven't had the same offensive explosion since they've been becoming a little bit one-dimensional.
In the past 5 weeks, Dak's biggest game in terms of game with the most passing attempts, 32. Or excuse me, hold on, that's completions, 47.
Yeah.
All right, so he has been throwing. He just hadn't.
That's what I'm getting at.
But 32 for 47. I mean,
he's efficient, and he's got good weapons. I don't want to sound like it's biased in my part because I have Zeke, but I will say I thought when they were putting up consistent
here comes
points
the bias.
They were having, and that doesn't mean with Zeke. It could be with Pollard. If Pollard's the new lead back there, then do it. Yeah. But I think they need to run the ball more than what they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think the teams that are best in the NFL right now have a good balanced offense.
Yeah. Well, and plus you got to think Michael Gallup was hurt for
Multiple
the last
weeks,
3
yeah.
weeks. Amari Cooper's been out
2
or
weeks.
affected by COVID for the past 2 or 3 weeks. CeeDee Lamb, he missed some time in that KC game and then didn't play Thanksgiving. So, I mean, for them to throw the ball 43, 47, 40 times with all of that factored in.
Yeah.
I mean, Dalton Schultz has been pretty good, though, so you got to throw that out there as well. All right, so looking at Scorp's team real quick, then we'll jump back to yours, Jake. So starting Madison, which, again, we all predicted.
Yes.
Starting Najee. Again,
Yes.
come off that bad game. Still got to start him because he's going to get a lot of work.
But it's Baltimore who's been pretty good defensively.
True.
And didn't you say something about the weather in that one earlier? Because we talked about Lamar running a bunch in that game. Supposed to be pretty nasty.
65% chance of precipitation. Starting Darrell Henderson as of now, who does hold that questionable tag.
Yes, where he already handcuffed himself with Michelle.
All right, so question. If Darrell Henderson does not play, who does he start? Does he start Sony Michelle
Yes, you don't
or
spend that
does he
much money on
start Miles Sanders?
No, he starts Michelle.
He likes Miles Sanders.
You spend that much money on him, you did it for a start.
That's
Don't
true.
spend $30 if you're
Play
just
Jacksonville.
The worst case scenario for him is that if Henderson plays in a
Limited capacity.
because then he might not get the touchdown, or he might get 10 carries or 9 carries and not play a lot, not have a lot of fantasy value. Michelle doesn't carry as much. And then who knows with Miles Sanders? I would not trust that dude at all. I know that's his dude.
Look at his stat, his game by game.
So he's been in double digits once.
That was week 1.
Yeah. So again, there's no way.
Has not scored a touchdown.
Dude, I'd probably play Godard over him or Smith. I have a very difficult
Smith would be a good start this week.
Very difficult
Yeah,
time starting Sanders over one of those two, which I think carry more value for Philadelphia.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Philadelphia, he's starting their defense. I kind of like that really crappy weather game for defenses, though.
I do too. And you're looking at the team who's maybe been one of the most consistent defenses in the last.
Yeah. 17, 16, 23, 16, 31, 19.
I know the opponent, but I also know it's Bill Belichick and it's for first in the division.
Yeah.
So that makes it very difficult. I understand it's the Jets.
Yeah, I get.
And Zach Wilson's back under center, and somehow they suck worse with their top pick in there.
True.
But it's hard to put. If it was me, I would not be picking up another defense because I would trust New England that much.
Yeah, I would roll with New England. But, playing the Jets, I definitely get that start. I understand it. For you, Jake.
Yep.
I found Evan Ingram. He's on your team. His stat line's kind of looks very similar to Miles Sanders.
Yeah, it's not very good.
One game over 10 points.
I think I picked him up last week because I thought about starting him, and I think he had a good matchup last week. I think it was – who was it?
They played Tampa last week they played
Philly.
Philadelphia.
Yeah. So I thought that maybe he'd have an opportunity there. He sucks. The 2 tight ends I've picked up, I've traded away that have outperformed my starting tight end, the one I keep hoping will live up to the 4th overall pick, which he went in front of Jamar Chase, and he has not.
Yeah.
He's only
had 2 double-digit games.
But, every time I watch Atlanta game, all they talk about is like, man, watch what they're doing on Kyle Pitts. Linebacker banging them at the line, safety sitting on the top. It's basically like you have like a small window to try to get the ball into.
You got nothing on that?
No.
I thought for sure Brian's got something to say.
No.
You said banging them and then sitting on the top. I thought he was going to say something.
Well, we brought the Ryan thing up earlier.
Uh-huh.
He went to shit. And I'm just trying to let let the special guy build himself back up.
Special guy.
Take it, buddy.
Tone the line.
A normal podcast. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Normal podcast, you get called out for that, Jared.
I know. Not today.
Not today. We're friends here.
No. If I'm going to win, it's going to have to be on the running game of Mixon and Taylor, which that's every week for me, but they have pretty good matchups this week. Mm-hmm. Both of them.
I mean, that LA Rams they are, like, you've got Stafford Cup. La Rams. I like that. You got Stafford Cup, and then he's got Henderson and Sony Michelle. So there's a lot riding on that game. Yep. And just kind of.
You want to know how I think your week's going to go?
Let's hear it.
I can't tell you who all, right? I think majority of your team is going to struggle to maintain their projection. But Stafford, Kupp, and Taylor are probably going to combine for
Put it down.
89 points.
That's solid. We talked about that, quarterback, wide receiver 1, running back 1.
I think Stafford and Kupp at least combine for 1 touchdown.
He hasn't got in the end zone lately, so I need him back in the end zone.
He got a 2-point conversion last week.
Yes.
That's
I'm not saying he hasn't been productive. I'm just saying he's been putting up those stats plus touchdowns.
I think Mooney's going to struggle.
So 3 weeks.
I think Claypool's going to struggle. I think you're gonna have just big booms. This whole week for you is going to be nothing but big plays.
I picked up Mooney for one reason.
Tell us.
Targets.
Okay.
Go look. I mean, it's insane. And and watching Thanksgiving game, he is the only guy that can go downfield. Other than that, they go to tight ends.
Over 120 yards in his past 2 games.
Yeah, he gets a ton of looks. He's the big play guy.
He is.
And especially with Andy Dalton in there, who force feeds guys. Like, he always has a certain player he likes to throw the ball to more.
Here's just, again, just pulling this up. This kind of sticks out. So he has 3 games over 100 yards receiving. 5 catches, 121 yards. 5 catches, 123 yards. 5 catches, 125 yards. Talk about big play.
How many targets does he have in most of those games, too?
First one was 7 targets, 5 receptions, 125 yards. The second time was 16 targets, 5 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown. And then the last one was 8 for 5 and 123.
Yeah.
So yeah, you talk about big play. I mean that's big play.
It is big play.
I've been what I used to be for Tim Patrick last year with Mooney this year. Like, kind of big on him down the stretch of being a person on a team that needs some production from the wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Allen Robinson ain't it. I think this guy continues to put up over 10 points a week.
I think that's fantastic.
Yep. Just off receptions and yards.
Then you kill me with that. I agree with you.
Good.
I'm more concerned about Claypool because of the Big Ben, and he is so dependent on the big play. He doesn't get as many easy receptions.
The Big Ben.
The Big Ben.
He's not Ohio
He's
State.
earned it. He's earned it.
The Big Ben.
Wait a minute.
He's earned it.
The one in England pretty much earned it.
No. How dare you
yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
You traitor.
We saved him.
You traitor.
Don't start with me, Canada, man. That's right.
You're the one that said
Canada.
Look, I'll tell you, man. Canada's hockey uniforms look better than ours.
They do. By a long shot.
Who are you?
Robert?
Your mother listens to this.
No.
No, not anymore. She's been banned.
I give her highlights.
Okay. Good.
All right.
So who you taking?
Well, y'all haven't picked. I always go last.
That's right.
Ryan took me.
Ron took you. Okay. Trying to figure this out. Madison without Cook has put up 20 and 22. So pencil him in for 20. Najee, I think he has a bounce back game because he can't have that bad of a game again. Yeah, this gets me going.
Put that away, please.
I'm thinking.
Put me down for Scorp.
I'm thinking. Oh, you're supposed to go to me. That you're supposed to let it in. I got it.
Well, say it now. Stop.
What is the Scorpion King? You know how the rules of Jeopardy work? You have to pose it as a question, especially in Final Jeopardy. Dude, they won't even count that if you don't put what is or who is or whatever. You ever watch Jeopardy? You're familiar with the show, right? Yeah, give me Scorp. Give me Scorp.
I took Scorp as well.
All right, so we're split.
Ryan's been the only different one last 2 times.
Okay. All right. And what we got next, Jake?
Playoff implication matchup of the week.
That rolls off the tongue very well, doesn't it?
Playoff implication.
All right, so we have
Andrew Jordan.
Learning to Walk Again
Versus
WFT No.21 Football Respect Red Dot Yellow Dot Flag Feather. I almost screwed up, boys. Almost screwed up there. Almost screwed up.
You did. We were there.
That would have ruined this. Like all the work.
I know. Got to start all the way up from scratch.
Can't.
All right, original projection 113 to 119. My projection 123 to 119 in favor of Rans Diddy Ball.
Because of a good start with Taysom
Hill.
All right, you know what we do for matchup of the week?
Position by position.
We go position by position. All right, Taysom Hill, as Jake just told us, had a pretty good game on Thursday night, 22.66, going against Tom Brady.
Yep. Give me
Can
Brady.
we just skip that one, Tom Brady?
So, yeah, I'll take Brady as well. All right, okay.
Ryan took Tom Brady as well. He didn't actually say that, but I know what Ryan
Because he's in your head.
He's in my head.
He's in his head. All right, receiver matchup. We got 4, Rans Diddy, Godwin, Chris Godwin, Marquise, Hollywood Brown, and Odell Beckham Jr.
Junior.
4, Jordan, we got Stephon Diggs, Elijah Moore, and DeAndre Hopkins, who is making his return to the lineup after 3 games being out. All right, who you taking there?
I'll take Andrew's receivers. Ryan's in my head too.
If that, it's hard to take Stephon Diggs with that weather, man.
Well, and New England, who's we just talked about,
who
one of
is
the best defenses. Do you know what you're going to get from Hop and Moore? Is he going to continue to put up production with
Zach Wilson?
Yes.
That's tough.
A lot of question marks on that side, where the other side I feel a little bit better about the floor. Pittsburgh just got destroyed defensively, so Hollywood could have a big game. Odell, I know that's a little bit of a question mark right now, correct? He doesn't really have anyone to put in for him. He'd have to go pick up somebody. Maybe he goes look at a Parker who he used to be pretty big on.
Maybe. Yeah, he could do
Said
that.
he expects to play in Week 13.
Yeah, you're right, though, about Jordan's team. There's a question mark beside every one of those receivers, whether it's for either their play or their quarterback's play or the weather.
Yeah.
Give me Rans Diddy in the receivers. All right. Looking at running backs, you got Myles Gaskin, Elijah Mitchell versus Devonta Freeman, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire is supposed to make his return to the lineup this week. After how many games has he been out?
I thought he played last week.
Oh, yeah, he did play. My bad. Stupid me. He played against Dallas.
What's going on with your hair? Are you stressing?
I am stressed,
Okay.
man. I got to win this week. I'm
fantasy
coming for you, Roberts.
Yeah.
And Andrew.
I'm coming for Andrew, too.
Because he has to.
But, I mean, I'm probably going to take Rans Diddy in running backs,
Yeah.
too. Elijah Mitchell's been
Yeah,
good.
I gotta
Against
take
Seattle, who...
Hmm?
I'm not really... I mean, for a team that we usually are talking about Super Bowl contenders right about now, I do not feel like they're moving in that direction.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not
Yeah.
at 3-8. Yeah, they ain't moving in the playoffs.
That's true. I mean...
Oh, those 4 running backs this week. Mitchell has the best week.
Yeah.
And then who knows from the gas can?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to predict anything for him, but at the same time, they're playing the Giants. They're playing at home. Weather's going to be decent. And the way they've been playing, they could get up and he could see some big touches, or at least 15+ touches.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Easy, big fella. Devonta Freeman again. He has one more broken tackle than us, so I can't put a lot.
But a bad weather game.
But a bad weather game.
So,
Supposed to rain.
But a bad winner.
But a bad weather.
But a bad winner.
All right, who you taking running backs then?
I'm taking Andrew.
It's Andrew.
Taking Andrew too, man.
Just because of the Mitchell.
This is no bueno. George Kittle versus Mark Andrews.
Now I'm going with Jordan.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Mark Andrews has been very good this year. I think he's number 2 tight end.
I'm
I'm going to go ahead and say yes.
Okay, he's number 2 tight end.
Yes.
He probably is.
Yeah, I think
He's had a good season.
Yeah, he's had a solid season for him.
And then Kittle, on the other hand,
Up and
down.
he had 3 good games coming off that injury: 17, 13, 11, but then one last week against Minnesota. Ugh. Give me Mark Andrews there. The flex matchup comes down to Matt Breida,
who looked very good in the opportunities he got, and then he messed up on one play. Looked like they were setting up a screen or something, and he went the wrong direction, and he got benched for like a quarter and a half.
Yeah.
But before then, I think when he came back in, though, he got a receiving touchdown. They're like, all right, we forgive you. So, man, I think, again, in a bad weather game, who knows who the running back's going to be there. Zach Moss was a healthy scratch last week.
Mm-hmm.
Singletary still looks pretty good, but it's not like he's
dominating touches or anything.
So, I don't know. He's a boom bust candidate in the truest forms. Like, he could come out there and go double digits, or he might have no points.
I'm going to take Thomas and Jordon on that one.
Yeah, I'll probably take Logan Thomas there as well. Just because I know a little bit more what to expect, but I think Breida could have a big game.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Breida. Okay. Bad weather, I think he might be a guy who gets in there and gets some receiving. And
you got bad weather against a really great defense, too.
I know.
That's a big odds, man.
Man, I'm always questionable about tight ends and flexes unless they're a premier guy. No offense. Like
what's the offense?
I'm not saying.
Well, no, like some people use that as strategy. Like even Andrew tried to, except for he's got.
Yeah, but
I could say Thomas putting up 7 points, and I don't think Breida gets over 6. Yeah, I just.
He's missed a lot of the year.
Oh yeah, I mean, his first game back was last week. 3 catches, 31 yards, 4.6.
Yeah, so.
I think I will take Thomas though.
Yeah, that's
in a dome, a little bit more predictable.
Yeah, controlled environment.
Indeed.
I think the defensive matchup could be.
I'm trying to figure out. I think Tampa could.
Can they beat?
21.
Yeah, I mean.
Ooh, that's tough, man.
But they're playing Atlanta, and they suck.
You're right. Oh, you're definitely right.
But Kyle Pitts going for like 100 yards and a touchdown is going to hurt.
Plus 21 points.
Are you gonna take Tampa?
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
All right,
I'm writing that down for the bold.
So 21 plus. That would be they've exceeded 21 twice. Once against Chicago, and the other one
Atlanta
against Atlanta in week 2. They had 2 touchdowns that game. That's the week I was playing Jordan.
Oh,
yeah. We had Derrick Henry go off too. Who are you taking?
Really?
Tampa, Dallas. Are you saying Tampa over 21 as well?
Why are you jumping at me like that?
God, the Ryan's in your head.
God, Ryan's down in my head. I'm gonna take Tampa.
Damn! Write you down too, then, Slick.
That's right.
Snuggle up beside me, Big Daddy. It'll be a fun week.
Tone the line.
Christmas trees up, lighting's low. What do you want me to do?
Nah, it is very.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go Dallas.
All right.
21's
boring.
Pretty. I think 21's that's a pretty good defensive league.
Boring.
It is.
Yeah. But Atlanta sucks.
But
Cordell Patterson's gonna carry that team.
I forgot.
You got him on the bench right now.
There's time, boys.
Never mind. I hope he does bad.
Now, see.
I hope he does good on your bench. I hope he does bad in your lineup. Ha ha. Suck it, Roberts.
Tone the line.
All right. Let's talk about playoff implications real quick.
We're gonna make our picks.
Oh, we didn't make our pick, did we? Dang.
We just did defense, and you got really excited.
I did. All right, who y'all taking?
Ryan took Andrew.
Okay.
Jake took Andrew.
Okay. Bryan
takes Jordon.
I need Jordon to win. I gotta vote. I gotta give my pick with my heart. I'm taking Andrew.
Oh, that's not good for you.
Nope. So let's talk about that. If Andrew wins, this is the playoff implications that Jake was alluding to in our preview right here. So the way this would work out, if Andrew, the top 7 are already locked in. So all clinched.
Right.
Jordan's already in.
Yeah, Jordan's in. So he can lose out and still make it. There's only 2 weeks left in the regular season. If Ransdiddy wins this week, he is locked into that 8th and final spot. And next week really doesn't mean anything other than seeding. If Ransdiddy loses and
you or Rightmyer,
if both of us win, then that makes next week's matchups
critical.
Very critical.
Which would be what? Can we jump ahead to that final week real
realistically,
quick?
the 3 of us can't go any different than 1, 2, and 3.
No,
No,
y'all
locked
are
in
all
at the
1,
top.
2, and 3. In maybe a different order, but
Right, that's what I'm saying.
yeah. Next week's matchup. So let's see. All right. So if Ransdiddy was to lose, this is what would be on the line. So you'd have Ransdiddy versus Mikkel. You would have Rightmyer versus Jordon, and then you would have me versus Scorp.
Oh,
yeah, boys. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
So
Rightmyer, though, I mean, if he could get
he would
an
be
Andrew
projected to
loss,
win.
and then he would have a very favorable opportunity in the final week, but he would still need Andrew to lose that week.
Yeah.
Correct.
He would need Andrew to lose. Right.
You
got to beat me, and you got to beat Scorp.
Yeah, he's got to beat number 1 and number 3, number 1.
Oh dear.
Wasn't a good finishing push for him, like in terms of matchups.
Nope. So yeah, next week could get really interesting because like Rightmyer, if he was to lock up that 8 spot, I mean, dude, Rightmyer's got a pretty good team going forward.
I'll tell you this:
Rightmyer.
I could pick maybe 2 or 3 teams ahead of the 8 seed then that I would rather face than him.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna name off those teams, but there are a couple ahead of them that I would much rather in a playoff
Name them.
matchup. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Be ballsy.
Scorp, Bryan, and
All right. So we got any closing thoughts for our week 13
boys,
preview?
we went hard on some bold predictions.
Well, we got 14
bold predictions, and some of those have multiple thoughts in them. So we had the over unders, and then me and Bryan
So
both
we're going to have to do a 10 o'clock start next Saturday because we're going to need all that entire day.
We're really going to need Ryan to clear protocol to get back. So
we hear the fantasy football.
We'll see you later, boys.
Oh God, it wasn't me.
We here at the Fantasy Football 5 wish you a speedy recovery.
Ryan's in your head. See, you're about to talk about Ryan. I got in your head.
Yeah, I don't know what I said the first time. All right. We good?
Yeah.
We good?
Please.
All right. We'll see you boys next week.